I'm back in my studio for another mediumship reading. I wanted to point out that I've put up my paintings again. They used to be here before, and I'm always changing things around. But I wanted to just point out that this one right here is a painting that I did quite a few years ago. And this is me, and the symbolism represents Mary, Queen of Scots. So, what you see on her tapestries. And this painting right here is actually a portrait of my grandmother that I did. She was a Scottish woman and in Canada, and you'll see she's got angel wings. She's my angel watching over me. And although I didn't know her this way, I only knew her as the quintessential grandmother with the, big house dress on and the always the apron and the one who just fed me and took care of me. I know that there was another side to her. And when I did start getting into tea leaf reading, a whole bunch of serendipitous things happened. But one of them was when I was healing through cancer treatments and the cancer surgery and the treatments. I started painting teacups when I was healing, and you'll see that in my logo. I've even got, I think, another painting of mine up there. I can show you some more later. But I started painting teacups, and that all made sense years later when I found this book from 1881 written by a Highland seer on teacup reading and fortune telling. And so that really connected me back to my life with my grandmother. And so painting these things before I started tea leaf reading, it just all came to light when I started reading. And I hardly had to study. It was just sort of an instant connection with tea leaf reading. Before that, I was reading tarot and taking psychic development classes and doing mediumship as well. But it really did click once I started reading for clients. I didn't expect to become a medium, although that's what I willed or manifested years later. I remember, I've always been obsessed with everything paranormal, but years later, finding Teresa Caputo, and I said, I want to be a Teresa Caputo. Although her style is not like mine at all, I don't, always give these messages of love and light, although, it is a beautiful connection usually, but I'm definitely not like her. I actually studied a bit under John Holland, and I resonate more with that style. And also even John Edwards, I really like him as well. But I just wanted to point that out, and do take a look at my other mediumship readings. I'd love for you to take a look. I also do mediumship readings for clients all over the world. Today I am doing a reading for a woman who has been through a pretty serious illness. She feels like she's being haunted by a spirit. This spirit is not a negative spirit, but the spirit is, I would say, haunting this woman. And it's for nicer purposes, or at least the spirit thinks that she is helping out. She feels like she is your biggest cheerleader. She is in your bedroom as you lie in your bed. So I know that sounds scary. She's at the end of your bed. She is basically watching over you, and she feels like she's taking vigil. She lived in your building where you live, whether it's an apartment building or a house. I'm seeing several levels, so that's why I'm wondering if it is more like an apartment. And if so, whatever building it is that you're living in is quite old. It is either a heritage home or very close to that, about 100 years old. She comes up from the underworld, if you will, for lack of a better word. And I'm not talking about, the Bible and hell. That's not what I'm talking about. It is more like a place where she is in waiting and like has not crossed over fully yet. She is in this place of waiting. And she can easily travel up to see you, and it's typically at night. And then when the daylight hours come, she feels like she's watched over you and she is able to go down again. So I'm just going to point out a couple of things in the teacup because I want you to see if you can see these stories like I do. If you do, then you are prone to pareidolia. You are able to see symbols out of random things. Okay, so I just wanted to point that out, a couple things. So I'm going to put the picture up here near the handle, and this represents you. Right below, there's a person who is sitting down on their butt and they're kind of like holding their hands out. It's almost like they're holding the bed. And you'll see the bed is right beside her on the left, and she is basically she's kind of moving your bed. So if you feel like some slight energy when you're trying to sleep, if you feel like there's like a bit of a rumble in your bed and you're wondering what that is, that could be her. She feels like she's holding the bed for you or holding vigil. So her energy as a spirit is quite strong, and that's where I feel the haunting comes in, because she feels like she has this job. I'm not quite sure if it is if she's done this to other people who have lived in the same home, and in particular in the bedroom, but it feels like that. It feels like she's just kind of got to do this. This is her job to do until she crosses over. She needs to come to peace with it. I'm seeing a peace pipe that's very close to her. And that's what she needs to do, is when she finds the peace, then she will be able to cross over. But for now, she just feels like she has a job to take care of you, basically. In the daylight hours, as you're waking up, she leaves you. There's an arrow pointing down at this long tunnel, and that's where she goes. And she meets up with other spirits too, and I'll point out a few spirits down there. And I know this sounds like a scary place, but it's not necessarily. It's just a place of waiting. When I do my meditations before I do any reading, I have a video on this, my meditation that I do, but I basically picture myself draining all of the negative energy out of me, and I have a vine that comes from the bottom of my feet that goes into Middle Earth. That's what I picture, that's what I visualize, and that's what this place is. I think of it as Middle Earth. And that is spiritually, that is not physically. Like, I don't actually think there are people in the middle of our earth who are there just waiting. It is more spiritual, it is metaphorical. But that's how I do my visualizations. I bring down that negative energy into that sort of waiting place. And what I do is I, spin that negative energy, and it's basically like cleaning it. And it creates this beautiful bright white light and good energy. It's almost like filtering energy in that place. And are the spirits there helping with that? That is a possibility. And so the what happens then is the bright white light comes back up that tunnel, or that vine that I create. What's showing me in this cup is that vine or that tunnel. And so she basically is showing us that she can travel back up and down that. And so think of her maybe not as like a physical person, but she is that energy. Okay, so that's really interesting that she's kind of giving us an insight on how spirit energy does work. We can visualize them as people, and that's what she is showing that she can do. But she is basically that energy that can travel up and down and help filter any negative thoughts and energy. And so she really does feel like she is this helper, this worker. Okay, so when she does, maybe she does have a certain amount of time where she will finally come to peace and then be able to cross over and then have that beautiful heaven-like experience that we all hope to have and all, have faith in. And many of us have different ideas and thoughts on that. It's whatever you picture. She is showing me an angel near the peace pipe, so that's what she is looking forward to, becoming an angel. And then I go back as I'm saying this to you, I'm looking in the camera and I see my grandmother's angel here. And isn't that interesting? So it is like a grandmotherly angel energy here, and she is here to help. So picture that it is a spirit that may be here haunting you for sure, but it is not nefarious at all. Okay, she really wanted me to get that across. And when I say cross, I'm going to show you there's this X here in the cup as well, near the tunnel or that vine. X marks the spot. Okay, so she is at the place where she needs to be. She's like, this is ground zero for her. That's the message I'm getting. X marks the spot. I'm in the place that I need to be. Also, the X can represent a crossroads. This is just that temporary space where she needs to be. Then she will cross over. So X is a crossroads. So she will get there. Interesting. She's also showing me some other angels around her. So that means that she was probably quite a religious woman herself, and definitely picking up on that grandmotherly image for sure. Energy. She is showing a bird on her shoulder, but that could represent that she's that little bird on your shoulder. The bird is a robin, and I'm going to point it out in the video as well. But the bird is a chirping robin. That could also represent springtime. I'm in Ottawa, and we just started our spring here, our spring-like weather. And the robins are just starting to come out for us here, but maybe where you are, you have already been seeing the robins. So whenever you do see a robin, think of her. That would be her following you around outside of your bedroom, outside of your house or your apartment. So do know that you are followed by spirit, and this is almost like a spirit guide energy here. And it seems like lots of angels. So if you do have faith yourself, then do know that the angels are watching over you. So it feels like at night she comes and does her job and feels like she's taking care of you or keeping vigil over you. Perhaps it's because you have been through some very hard times, particularly with your health, and she wants to make sure you're okay. But then she goes back down to her waiting place and connects with the other spirit guides around her. And so it's just sort of a constant thing. Again, she will come to peace. That could either come to pass when she is ready for it, when she makes peace. You can always precipitate this though. If this is really bothering you, you can connect with someone who could come into your home and do a clearing and help them pass over. I'm very leery of certain people who would say that they could do that. So, you definitely want to look into people in your area that could do that for you. You definitely want to stay clear of anyone who's asking you for, lots of money to clear yourself, that kind of thing. But there are genuine people out there that can help with clearing spirits and hauntings. If you are interested, message me and I can see if I can help you for sure. Um, but that is something that this just seems like it's playing out, and it has played out in the past. She really doesn't want you to be afraid. It's just what she needs to do, if that makes sense. So I hope that this makes you feel a little bit better about the situation. I know that can sound very crazy. I know, I get it. I didn't expect to be doing this work myself. She is your biggest cheerleader, though, and I'm going to point out to the cheerleader in the cup, too. She's got two big pom poms, and she's here rooting for you. There may be an East Coast connection, too. I just wanted to mention that because there is, no, I can't find it, but earlier I saw it, my lobster, so that she could be from an East Coast. Doesn't have to be Canada where I am, an East Coast or the coastal area from where she was born. So she could be the spirit who is the closest to you and actually manifesting some energy around you. I also want to point out, though, and I think this is totally separate, there is another man who is near you as well. And I don't think that he's haunting you, but I just wanted to point out that there is a male energy that is close to you. He is actually giving me bull energy. And I'm not quite sure why I'm getting this message, but I'm hoping that this will resonate with you. I'm seeing a couple of things. I'm seeing a ram, which isn't a bull, and I know that a ram can be related to, horoscopes and astrology. So think of the ram in the astrological sense, but the bull as well. That's interesting. I know that's Taurus. So it could be related to Taurus, which is May, which goes along with the what I mentioned before with the robin. So, things could really ramp up with your spirit connections this spring, which is kind of an interesting time to feel like you are connecting with spirit. It is, Beltane is coming up, and that could be halfway in between the time from now to Samhain, Halloween. And so the spirit realm, the veil is thin at both points throughout the year. This is, the spring equinox has just passed. If you're in the hemisphere that I'm in, the northern hemisphere. So either of the equinox times, that can be a very big time for spirit. And so I think that's maybe why he's showing me as a bull. But I also wanted to mention, and this seems odd too, but I just have to say it, that he's showing himself as a bullfighter. So dressed up in full like bullfighter costume, if you will. And very casual, very suave, very debonair. Okay, so what is that meme? I won't even get into that. But anyways, he is showing me, with one leg up. He's like hanging one leg down off of a fence or something that he's sitting on, like a stone fence, and he's got one leg up and he's got his arm over his leg and very suave. Just that energy. He just feels like he's kind of a gift, a gift to all. He's got an ego on him, and he is around you. He feels like a knight in shining armor as well. So if it's not the symbol of a bullfighter, it is more like a tarot card and like one of the knights. Okay, so he's dressed up like that, a medieval sort of feeling. So it could be either. And so that could be the knight, as I'm seeing a top of like a knight's um, armor with the feather coming out of the cap. And that is one of my symbols for a knight, a knight in shining armor. So that could represent a love of yours as well. So he is close to you, although I don't feel like he is haunting you. He is just watching over you. So, thank you for spending your time with me. And if this has resonated with you, then I hope you do feel some less stress about the situation and know that you do have some options. So, let me know if you have any questions on that for sure. But meanwhile, you do have someone watching over you, which is maybe hopefully a nice feeling for you. Sometimes I don't realize how jarring this can be for some people who don't do the work that I do. So I just wanted to acknowledge that for sure. If there's anyone who is dealing with spirits that you're wondering about, that are you feel like are surrounding you, please do message me. I'd be happy to do a reading that I can cover on YouTube for you, at least to pinpoint who might be there for you. I'd be happy to do that. We don't have to use your name or anything like that. It's really up to you. And we don't have to get you on camera. I can just do a reading for you like this and even message you separately too. We don't only have to stick with the this YouTube video. Okay, so thank you very much, and I hope you take care. Thank you. Bye bye.